We were talking to Fluffy in the group chat, and I already answered this in Discord, but I think it's a good base episode that we could just answer. How should I calculate my calorie deficit? Been struggling to find the perfect amount of calories without starving myself. Step one, it depends on how much weight you're trying to lose and where you start, but part of losing weight is starving yourself. You're going to be hungry. You're not going to ever be chiseled abs, Instagram looking jacked, unless you're 1% of the elite genetics, or you're going to be hungry. That's just kind of part of the game.
Yeah, not all the time.
No, for
and
sure.
then you'll learn ways to like make it easier. And then as you like go through those like kind of growing pains kind of, or adjustment pains, I guess, your body will get used to it, like get on a schedule.
Yeah, you'll be less hungry. Or if you eat at the same time every day, that's something I feel like people don't talk a lot about. People always talk about like eating the proper amount of calories and the proper amount of meals and carbs for a workout. But just like sleep, 8 hours and stuff, everyone talks about that. That's great. But I think it's actually more important just to go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time. Even more so than everyone's like, deep sleep, best recovery ever. But if you go to bed at like midnight and then wake up at 6, and then you go to bed at 10 and wake up at 4, and like you keep jumping that around, you're always going to feel tired.
Yeah.
And then same with this. If you have like a big breakfast one day, then a big lunch the next day, and then this and that, and you're bouncing around, your body's never going to catch up. Rather than being on schedule, I'm always hungry at 3 because I eat at 3.
Yeah, I used to not eat breakfast, and then I started eating in the morning because I had earlier mornings, and now my body wants food in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn it.
Something that has worked for me before, I don't know if it would work for me right at the moment, but when you're getting started, to actually do a little bit of intermittent fasting, even if that's not what you're intending to do long term.
Yeah.
Like doing it a couple of days at the beginning, you sort of trick your body into not being hungry at those times.
Yeah, you could do it before or after, right? You could do it early morning and not eat.
Right.
Or you stop eating at
shut off early.
4 or 5. I kind of do both.
And
really.
all that like depends on your schedule, like your work schedule.
Yeah, for sure.
Like keeping busy is one of the best things for me, and everyone has their own thing. So like, keeping busy, and I know for you and me, like we like to have our first meal as late almost as we can in the day.
And a big old one.
Yeah, and like just keep busy in the morning, work, train, like almost lollygag in the gym for a few hours, like do cardio or walk around, hang out. So like we don't go home and start eating and snacking. And if we're bored, we're idle, we're like, kind of hungry, kind of want to snack. Yeah.
100%. In terms of actually calculating the deficit or your calories, everything we try to do is ballpark, because we can't take into account every single day's activity, sleep, even like humidity in the air. Like every little thing will affect how much we eat. And even within fiber and carbs, there's different types of fiber that have different amount of calories, soluble versus unsoluble, et cetera, et cetera. So instead, we just try to make these big boundaries. And if you get these big boundaries most consistently day in, day out, you'll be fine. And this is kind of what I said in chat. The easiest way to start is probably just an online calculator. Be as honest as you can. Get a general guidance. Then if you weigh yourself every morning, same time, same place, same outfit, write it down. Track your food meticulously. You can't lie to yourself. You can't lie to the world. You have to put every douse of ketchup, every floret of broccoli in your mouth, put it in your phone. And then after probably about 2 weeks, find the average of both. And those average calories, if your weight has gone down, you're in a deficit. If your average calories and your weight has stayed the same or gone up, you're in a surplus. It's that simple. From there, you slowly adjust. And people adjust, I think, too quickly. I don't know if it was here or Instagram, but someone recently said, like, oh, I haven't lost weight in a week, but I've been accurate with my calories. Like, that just, it doesn't matter. Like, we're talking about cellular level of changing our bodies. It's going to take a long time. So I think it was Alberto Nunez, maybe even first, that said he goes sometimes 3 weeks to guarantee if he's locked in before adjusting anything. So I'm more of a 2-week guy, but keep their calories for about 2 weeks, see if something changes. Then you can take away, depending on your goal again, it depends where you start and where you're headed, anywhere from 200 to maybe even 700 calories a day. I know that's a broad range, but it depends. You know,
yeah, a lot of people just say 500, but
it's so general.
Yeah, it's super general. Do you know anyone? I've never done this, but I've thought about doing it before. Getting your basal metabolic rate.
I have done.
Yeah,
that.
she just did it. Bart does it. I think most DEXA scans give you a ballpark.
DEXA scan, yeah, they do that. I got both. Or resting metabolic rate is the one that I got, where you just sit and then you breathe into this mask for 15 minutes.
15?
Yeah.
I don't know if my ADHD can handle
Okay,
it.
you sit there for 15 minutes. You can't be on your phone and you can't fall asleep.
Yeah.
Very difficult.
What do you do? They talking to you or something?
No, I'm just looking around. She was like working with someone else.
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
can't
just,
do
like,
that. I'll freak out.
It was hardest to not fall asleep.
Yeah.
I wanted to take a nap. Anyways, yeah, I think it helps in the sense that like counting your calories and tracking is difficult, and especially if you don't know what the deficit should be. And that is what's scary for me. It's like, well, I'm eating this much, but I never know if it's the right amount.
Yeah.
But once you get that number, even if it's like, how accurate can it be? Doesn't matter. If you go get it tested and you have this number now, like an actual concrete number to look at, you can just like put your faith in that and trust that number, and then just do it consistently. Like just commit to it for say 2-3 weeks and then see what happens. It's difficult when you're using an online calculator because I tell myself like, well, how do I know if this is not too low or too high?
Yeah.
And I'm just afraid almost of committing.
That's where like a coach helps too, right? Because they're there to assure you. One thing on that, I think Abby's points are great, and it's probably a great foundation to start. But what you don't want to do is get that DEXA scan, take that number, and then try to do all this crazy math for how many steps you take in a day. Oh, well, I did a bench press workout and I burned 300 calories. Like, just ignore all that. That's why I say, like, go with the boundaries and keep your calories consistent and your activity as consistent as you can. But don't calculate like, oh, burned 100 calories on the treadmill, I'm going to eat a Snickers. Oh, burned 300 calories doing my squat session, I'm going to get another donut today. Don't do any of that bullshit.
Don't eat it back. Don't eat your calories.
Yeah,
back
just
up.
keep both consistent. And again, yeah, I always think about like bowling with bumpers. You just want to stay in that lane, kind of.
Yeah, stay in a range.
What'd that cost you? $100?
100 for one scan. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys have a little cash, might not be the worst idea,
Yeah.
but not necessary. But a good foundation.
Not necessary.
Yeah.
Definitely an extra step.
Yeah, and coaches.
step.
Another thing, you probably get a really good online coach, $100-$200 a month, and it sounds so salesy, but it's so fucking true. Like you're spending $8 a morning on a shitty Starbucks coffee that doesn't even taste good. You skip every other day of coffee, and now you can get yourself a coach that actually can care and help you.
Hold you accountable.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's all you need
Or
to
all
get started.
Yeah, buying a round of beers on the weekend for the boys. There's $80.
And
could be a coach.
like 500, 600 calories
Yep, and plus the nachos and the Taco Bell you drove through afterwards.
at my clients.
Yep. At everyone. That's the entire
At everyone.
world.
They don't think about it.
No, it's the
They don't think
entire
about
world.
it.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I remember doing a shout out to my boy Paul Revelia, one of the best physique coaches on the planet. Man, it might have been 7 years ago now. We did a video together and a talk about alcohol and losing weight for competitors or otherwise, because it was trendy, and it's still kind of trendy to be like, you can lose weight and still drink beer. Like, you can, but probably not really advantageous for any of your goals, building muscle, etc. But the bigger thing that he kept talking about, he's like, it's the habits that you get going. You're out till 10, 11, 12 at night. Even if you only had 2 beers and you track that beer, you're way more likely to roll through Taco Bell. You're way more likely to roll home and grab some fucking
And the next day,
snacks.
too.
The next day, I'm fucked, bro. I'm just slamming burritos and shit all day. And let alone, the protein synthesis, etc., and performance that may be impacted for the next week or who knows how long.
And it's not just like self-control or whatever. It's like your body will trigger you to eat
To
For
crave
sure.
it
Yeah, for
again.
sure.
after you if you've had alcohol.
Yeah, and then it also like, it's almost like having it is a drug. Whether it's like sugar, whatever your weakness is, if you like eat it again, your body's gonna crave it again.
Yeah.
In like 2-3 days.
Yeah.
You're like, damn, I kind of want another one. But like, say you're on track for like 2 weeks, and you've held yourself accountable, change your lifestyle. Sometimes you kind of give in, and then it'll like start that craving again.
Yeah.
So,
Boom. Get jacked, folks. Summertime.
Summertime. Another thing about the DEXA scan that's kind of fun is just kind of seeing how you're built.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What your
Where you
skeleton
hold
looks
fat
like.
and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, get emotional, cry about it. Be like, shit, I want to change. This is not what I want
So
to
what happened to you?
be. Yeah. No, but she says like the lady there
Yeah, I'm sure.
said that people will like cry.
For sure. Because you don't know. Visual representation. You see yourself every day. Like you just get used to what you look like, and people get used to what you look like. But you
Yeah.
see like a piece of paper, and you see some stats that probably don't feel good.
Yeah, it's motivation because you're like, well, I'm going to scan myself again in X amount of months.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see a change. So then that could be a boost of
Yeah,
like a
hopefully lock in.
motivator. Yeah. On those days that you don't want to get out of bed type of thing.
You're
Whatever.
where can people find you, Avi?
Instagram at avi.lu.
Avi.Lu. Email avi@3sb.co if you're in Sacramento and you want some coaching. Classes available. We'll be at Nationals. Avi will be smashing weights.
Memphis, Tennessee.
8 weeks.
September 14th.
Yeah, 8 weeks.
Birthday September 19th.
Damn, what do you want, presents? We should do a
Yes.
P.O. box. That would be kind of fun content.
P.O. box unboxing,
Yeah.
opening.
Well, I mean, they just ship it here. We don't really need a P.O. box.
No.
That would be kind of fun content.
Yes.
Go to Discord. Let us know if you want to do something like that. If you want to send stuff for us to review, look at, open, it'd be kind of fun content.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be. You don't have to send us Rolexes. You could send handmade
Or
shit
you can.
or funny
It's okay.
shit. Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
funny. Ladies and gentlemen, new episodes every Wednesday, Friday. I'm Solid Mike. Where you can find me, 3sb.co. Grab your accessories. We got some beer mugs left over, some water bottles from this week's drop. Check it out. And I'm Solid Mike. Where you want to find me.
I am at the Jim McD on all those social media. This show is 50% facts, where percent is a word and 50 is just numbers. 50% facts is a Spreaker Prime podcast in association with iHeartMedia on the Obscure Celebrity Network. We'll talk to you next time. This thing is just gonna
Chugged it.
Is it empty now?
No, it's just lowish.
Okay. It's been low for like 2.5 years.
Have some, Abby. Put her down.